I don't know what these critics are talking about. I actually enjoy the Tomorrow's War. Hey, what's up, nerd fam? This is your boy Rashawn. I want to welcome you to Enter the Nerd. Today, we are going to talk about the Tomorrow War from Amazon Prime, or on Amazon Prime. It's a pretty cool movie. It's a brand new movie starring Chris Pratt, definitely in that July blockbuster slot. Now, let's talk about, was it good or was it not? In my opinion, this was a very entertaining movie. Was it perfect? Because I want to stay consistent to the things that I've held and the standards that I've held other movies in the past. In terms of consistency and certain things and continuity, they do some funky things. Number one is time travel, right? So the whole premise of this is, in the future, this alien invasion happens, which pretty much leaves that population decimated, and then they come into the present and go, hey, we need y'all to help save us, right? And that, some spoilers here, that doesn't end up well. A whole bunch of people from the present wind up dying anyway until they find the solution within like a bioweapon, which is made from like the Queen's resistance to venom, and then it's interesting. The solution is interesting, but you can't help but think that with the technology and all that they had, there might have been a different solution they could have come up with, right? So here's some of the things that I will say. I'll say a couple of cons first, like, just because they're right there. I want to get out the way. I want to be consistent, but then I'm going to get into a heaping of pros as well. So as for the cons, I feel like the weapons were kind of weird. Like, you have this alien race, but you have this technology to do time travel. So I feel like you could have definitely come with better weapons that would have definitely been better for the central mass of the aliens that you were talking about, which they're talking about the neck and the body. It just seemed weird. They were no lasers, nothing. You can create bioweapons, but you can't create better physical weapons for these guys. It was really, really weird, because obviously they had the time and means. Because, we don't have enough time to mass produce it, but you had enough time to create advanced aircraft, and your weapons just, what was that about? I thought that would be a lot simpler than what was going on with that. But whatever. Also, dragging people from the present into the future is not good, especially when they're like doctors and school teachers. How would that have given you a better advantage when everybody is kind of militarized in the future? These people aren't. So how would that have given you? That's just like cannon fodder. That's pretty much what they did there. I would have thought they would have went after the people who were, military guys. Because you saw like Chris Pratt, his character. Because pretty much, I'm gonna go back and forth here. Even though this, the whole problem was about the future and the alien invasion, the story is really about a guy who feels like what he's doing right now is not his passion. Never really wants to do it. Like, he's unsatisfied, right? And this kind of gives him purpose in a weird way. So I'm looking, why wouldn't they just got him? He's like ex-military. They would have got this whole bunch of other guys that were ex-military, because just him by himself, like, he adapted very well. So you think a whole bunch of other people might have as well. So it was weird. Now, obviously, like I said, time in itself is not perfect, and they don't explain like why, if you change this in the present, why it wouldn't just change the past. So I guess it's running into different timeline. Like, that timeline has to happen regardless, and then when something gets changed in the present, it creates a whole different one, like they talk about in like Endgame and stuff like that. But it's not like they're on the same line. You're popping back and forth, because I guess if that happened and some of these people were to die, like some of their parents, stuff like that, some of the people just wouldn't exist. Also, when what's the qualification? Because they were like, oh, you meet our standards. Is it everyone who's already dead past a certain time they were inviting? Is that what they were trying to say? There's a couple questions that I just needed answering. And once again, these are all kind of like continuity things. And these guys in the future just seemed a bit incompetent. That's just what it was, right? So I just want to once again hold this movie to the same standard. Why I still enjoyed it was because without that nitpicky stuff, right? If I watch it, how did it make me feel? Did it accomplish like, cool action scenes? Sure, were the aliens like the most groundbreaking aliens? No, but you understood like the helplessness. Like, you got, these guys are getting decimated, right? And it had some really good emotional beats, which I wouldn't have expected, especially between Chris Pratt and his future daughter, which, like, me as a father, like, I felt that immediately, especially like, the whole fact that, she knew that they were gonna die and she needed him to be okay with pretty much letting her go, and you knew he wasn't gonna be okay with that. And he even, I like the whole plot line about he gets so dissatisfied that eventually he leaves them, and he can't believe it because he's like, I'd never do that. But it's like, no, right now you wouldn't. But at that time, you just got so disgusted and stuff that he pretty much became his father. That is a very interesting plot point to have, and some people like wouldn't have expected that in a movie like this. And I really liked it, and I like that it was really more. Even maybe that was really where they were going. The human aspect of him, how his daughter changed him. That's the little one, but the one in the future, and gave him a reason to do something different, whether it was by coming back and inviting him to the future and just being her, right? And I really liked about this movie. It was a lot of humanity when it came to that, even though humanity pretty much messed up. JK's him and the back and forth between him and his father, where his father's like, oh, you didn't need me anyway. And he's like, bro, yes I did. Like you know, the son's gonna need his father. You know what I mean? Like, and where were you at? And some people are just within their own head dealing with their own shit, and they can't see what's going on. They can't see the effect that is happening, and I liked that as well. It was kind of corny when I felt like, I thought they were going to kill him to redeem him, and they all just want to survive. And when it came to that, like those two, I figured one of them would die, but whatever. It is what it is. Now, I saw some criticism about this movie, which made me shake my head because it's just not true if you watch the movie, right? People were like, oh, this is just a movie saying that white people, like this is boosting the everyman, which is like a white dude, and the black characters were just set pieces for him. It makes me wonder if they even watched the movie. Because it's actually one of the things that I really liked about this. The three characters they happen to have that were in roles that were black were not the same. They didn't think the same. And he actually would have died without them existing in this movie, right? So it wasn't the set piece. He's just the main character, right? But Dorian, there was like a soldier who was going back, and he went to 3 different tours into the future, which was crazy. He was wearing like the alien claw on him, which is general badass. And the reason why he's going out there is because he knows he's going to die of cancer. So I want to make sure that I'm doing my thing. I die on my own terms, which is cool. Very simple. And it made him like a badass. And I'm actually interested to see that actor and something else. Like, I love superhero movies. I would love to see him in something like that. That's what it did for me. There was another character who was like a tech whiz type of guy. And he was like so super cowardly. And then you realize it's more than just being cowardly. It's like almost like a PTSD thing, because his wife was one of the first people to get caught to go out there. And she never came back. So he was hurt too. So a lot of emotion is going on with that as well. And you see like even Chris Pratt's wife in another part of the film, she's talking to them come back from the future, and they're all messed up. It was like touching on that part as well. So this guy or whoever it was that said these critiques of this movie, it's like, did you really watch the movie? We're just finding like it's never enough. It's never enough for people, and then they want to make it about some like weird social racial thing, and it had nothing to do with that in here. And then the third character, which was like a little boy who like a teenager who was obsessed with volcanoes. Only thing I thought was stupid about that, I felt like it was just really stupid and obvious. Like how they were gonna go to that, because it didn't blend in well. Like you're teaching the class and all of a sudden some guy is just really, really into volcanoes, and then later on they need a volcano expert and you go directly to the kid. Not like a volcanologist, right? Like not somebody who studies volcanoes, but like the kid, like he gonna know the most. It was weird, but I'm glad I would have done that same thing, except just blended in a little bit more and wrote it a little better to where it really made sense for it to be him. Maybe even aged him up. Maybe made like college or something like that. Maybe made him another teacher that was really obsessed with that. Something like that, just to make a little bit more sense. But I still enjoyed it. There was 3 different characters. See, people didn't understand it. 3 different black characters who all got a chance to be something different each time. And they didn't even have to all get along with each other, because obviously Dorian didn't really get along with the other one because he was just, that's who he was. He was just fucked up. Then you have the middle. Like I said, it was very good. They handled this very well. But people will just find a way to complain about it. I'm not saying this is a perfect movie. It's not like an awesome movie in terms of, like I said, continuity issues and, characters showing like general incompetence. No, but there was some very human aspects, great emotional beats, and it was just fun to watch. I mean, I'm not gonna sit there and complain about this when Fast and Furious has been breaking continuity and physics and all types of things, and pretty much my belief. They talk about suspending belief. My belief is on 0 gravity when it comes to freaking like a Fast and Furious. So if I'm going to sit there and watch it, I can do that. I can definitely watch this film, which at least tries to have a thread that runs through the entire film, right? And obviously they saved the day. There's probably not gonna be a sequel for this, and they should not be. They begin, end it, and they close the arc for the characters. Some of them do not make it out, which was appropriate for the ones that did not make it out because pretty much it was looking bad. But yeah, that's what I think about this. I thought it was good enough to enjoy. It was not perfect. It definitely had some issues with continuity and some of the characterization, but that's about it. Let me know what you think about it. I recommend go watch it. Let's talk about it in the comics. Until then, keep fighting off these aliens and don't forget to enter the nerd.